Welcome to my recap for September of 2021. So you guys, I'm actually here right now in San Pedro Sula at Recycled Container Homes and in a community here with Gabriel and with Veronica, who I connected with actually via Airbnb and has led to so much more. So grateful to be here. So that's what you see right behind me right now. And I'm actually filming this on October 11th, days after my 43rd years young birthday that was October 7th that I got to spend in Roatan, you guys. Free diving, snorkeling, so grateful. So many things coming into play that were a vision years ago. So a couple of things that I want to share. A little lizard just walked by. A couple of things that I want to share in case this is your first time tuning in to a recap with me. So first, I outline things on a daily, weekly, monthly basis in terms of 7 steps to success. That's spiritual, mental, emotional, relational, playful, physical, and financial, okay? Then we're gonna dive into things from an aspect of what I call the Create 7. And the Create 7 is launches, projects, media, series, clearing, scaling, and community. And those have narrowed substantially into 3 to community creators and creatives. Because this year, one of the things I'm being pulled to do, the end of this year into next year, is to really prune things, to really simplify things, and to really clear. Sorry, you guys, like someone was walking by singing or something. I think they walked by. I think it was the guy singing, I don't know. Anyway, back to business. Okay, so this in September was a whirlwind month, just like all of 2021 has been. So September, I actually started the month, September 1st through the 9th, in Costa Rica. I was on a press trip and digital marketing project with Cindy, a tropical escapade, Osa Green Travel, and Rancho Tropical. And I left that project on September 9th, which I started mid-August, where I did website and SEO development, where I did social media, grant research, several different things, marketing with travel agents and more. And you guys, it was crazy. On the 9th, September 9th, I actually left and took a boat across to Golfito and went canyoning for the 2nd time. And it was a whole different experience, just like many adventure sports are every time. And I ended up, you guys, crashing into 2 waterfalls, like twice. And then there was 3 random, not random trees at every single waterfall. Even the guide was like, this is not normal. Like, this is not normal, okay? And I ended up, I think I fissured my elbow, because literally, you guys, like the first day I couldn't even lift it, and step by step it started getting better. But I thought maybe I need to go to the doctor and get a cast or something, but then I realized likely it was fissured. But it kind of scared me for a bit. And then the 9th through the 11th I stayed in San Jose before leaving to go through El Salvador on my way to another project in Honduras. So surprisingly, I discovered that the easiest way through Manuel of Hotel Sandoval to get to Ocotepeque, Honduras, was to go and fly into San Salvador and then take basically a 2-hour-ish trip to the border, El Poy. It's frontera, but the specific border, which is frontera in Spanish, is called El Poy. And I thought to myself, well, if I'm going through El Salvador, why not spend some time in El Salvador, right? So part of my adventures in September was spending and going straight to El Tunco Beach, which is about an hour to 2 hours from the airport. I stayed in a beautiful tree house. You'll see some of that in my adventure recap towards the end. And I then stayed in a private room / efficiency in San Salvador and had a walking tour. So that all happened the September 11th through the 16th. Oh, and I went down a rainbow slide, you guys. So amazing. Now, don't think for a second, you guys, over 90 to 95% of my time is spent focusing on creating with community creators and creatives. And I would say about 5 to 10% is really focused adventure time. Although let's be real, it's all an adventure. So grateful to God and so grateful to my parents and so humbled by many, many, many things. Okay, so I'll get to that. And then on the 16th, I left with the driver to go towards the border. And we stopped at La Palma, which has some of the most amazing art with Daniel Yort. And then Manuel of Hotel Sandoval picked me up at the border on the Honduran side. And from September 16th through October 1st, so literally through the rest of September, I ended up serving in press, digital marketing in Ocotepeque, towards the western southern part, close to El Salvador border of Honduras. So that kind of gives you the physical places of where I was between Osa Peninsula in Costa Rica, the 1st through the 9th, the 9th through the 11th, San Jose, before leaving on a plane, the 11th, to go to El Salvador, the 11th through the 16th in El Salvador, and then the 16th through the 1st in Honduras, in Ocotepeque, before I came to this beautiful spot of San Pedro Sula, which many of you, if you've heard of San Pedro Sula or you know the background or the history, this does not look like your typical San Pedro Sula place. It's next to a reserve, you guys. There's a community right in front of me. Gabriel's mom, Angela's a famous architect, that she actually designed this place with being not only recycled containers, but also not needing air conditioning. And I can tell you from staying here all last week, now being back, literally, even sometimes without the fan on, because you can see it's very shaded, you don't feel any heat, any humidity. And then the fan, actually I use a blanket because I get cold. So that's kind of the recap of what's happened and where I've been physically the month of September. And back to the 7 steps of success. So spiritually in September, I continued to practice my sacred 7 morning routine, night routine, and also worked through the Daniel study with Beth Moore. Also Proverbs daily. I was also in Samuel 1. I also read the book Crazy Faith by Michael Todd. Listened to it already once. I will be listening to it again. Highly, highly recommend it. And was listening to on a weekly basis to Apostle Catherine Crick. And also on a mental and emotional aspect, made sure I journaled increasingly again, more time in nature. I went on an incredible hike, the Kayawanka Rock, 1,600 meters, you guys, with Gustavo. Thank you to Manuel. Thank you to Gustavo for having me do that. My legs were sore for 3 days. Also went on a reserve there. So a lot of mental, emotional time in nature as well. And then also increasingly on a relational aspect. So being that I, the 1st through the 9th was with Cindy and Tropical Escapade, a lot more time there relationally. Then had some downtime the 9th through the 11th. And then the 11th through the 16th moved to 2 places in El Salvador. And the treehouse was a community space. And then also the garden in San Salvador, I interacted a lot with Gloria, the host and Airbnb owner, and we connected on a lot of entrepreneurial things, a lot of things with faith and with God. So definitely more relational, connected more with friends and family. and then was in Ocotepeque. So I definitely had a lot of downtime, but there was also a lot of time, you know, more so with people compared to months earlier this year in person, and especially compared to last year, okay? So that, on a relational aspect, physical, I worked out again more with my bands, with different things, with Peloton, and I'm increasing that again because this month I'm gonna be more stable again here at this beautiful spot, and playful. So I covered a lot of things on play into September. Play definitely happened in every single aspect and will continue to happen, and you'll hear even more on that in October, going to Roatan, free diving on my birthday, snorkeling, all the things, okay? Then, so that kind of gives you the recap of the 7 steps to success. So now, and you saw some insights into adventure. So now let's get into the Create 7 and what happened with community, creators, and creatives. And at the end, I'll dive even deeper to the adventures and give you guys some highlights visually of that too. Aspect. So creating, what happened with creating was I started to expand my vision on connecting even more with real estate companies to help them sell properties sooner with both online and digital marketing, but also hosting in-person things with influencer marketing groups, including things like smoothie bowls, so wellness aspects, meal plans, including ongoing media the whole time that I'm there or we're there. And then also retreats, and then leveraging that aspect of marketing and experiential marketing to sell their properties sooner. So I've been, and we've been, and when I say we, our virtual assistant, pitching different real estate companies, pitching different property management groups, starting to get some traction, starting to get responsive there. Workaway, which is a platform on one of my 75+ tools to create a life and business you love, is where I got traction with the press trip that was for a month in the digital marketing project in Costa Rica, that my stay was 100% covered, as well as elements of food and more. Then from September 16th through the 1st, another press trip and digital marketing experience with Hotel Sandoval, Torrey Centro Sandoval Park. And Manuel, you guys, he also was the leader of familiarization trips for Honduras for years, across press, across tourism. So it was great to work with him. Super easy, super flowy. He gets it, all the things, okay? So that happened. And I applied this month on a community aspect to over 2 grants that we qualified for on wellness, innovation, and experience that I'm waiting to hear from. I also found Seed Apply, which is an incredible program in the US that can grant up to millions over a 3, 5+ year period in different categories like education. Found that and actually applied early October, so I'll know more soon because they have a phase 1 and phase 2 application process. Then from an aspect, you guys, of continued community. So the Costa Rica project got wrapped up. I finished everything on that, including all the different media, the wrap-ups, the communication with Cindy as a client. Then the same thing with Ocotepeque in Honduras, that got all done. Then I was on Good Morning Gwinnett and the podcast show with Aubrey as well. And YouTube got scaled as far as uploading my YouTube videos and the covers for YouTube. I cleared more as far as emails that I was subscribed to start clearing more clutter out of email. Continued email scaling with one of our virtual assistants and the automation. Over 3 blogs and shows, and they're all caught up, and over 20 reels done on social media channels. So that's across community, creators, and creatives, as well as finished 3 photo books for Costa Rica, for Guatemala, and for Mexico from this year. My goals into this month with that also tie into finishing up the next Costa Rica book after Mexico, El Salvador, and then Honduras, and then starting the 2021 book, and then a couple past years that weren't done yet. Now, on a revenue basis, you guys, so full disclaimer, full disclosure. Oh, one more thing. Also, over 100 different people applying to be a wellness entrepreneur with Herbalife as well, and following up myself, as well as having our virtual assistant follow up too. So full disclaimer, you guys. The other thing is too, is although I'm so grateful with blessings, decreasing expenses, getting better and better with my own money, and also acknowledging where past, errors or past consequences, and continuing to be humbled. I'm starting a book right now called Get Great with Money. So for years, made other 6-7 figures year over year, and got to certain places with income and it would fall. Got to certain places and would fall. And I feel like in many ways, I'm being challenged to go back almost like to college, hence the dorms is what I feel like, and really get back to basics with money in so many levels. And so full disclaimer, yes, I'm working a lot. Yes, there's a lot of focus. Yes, there's a lot of gratitude and contentment and joy, and a lot of automation and scaling. Like I feel like the preparation or the level of the baby that's being birthed is like, but at the same time, you guys, not like a lot of progress and results in decreasing expenses exponentially, over $3,000 differences per month, like in some of the expenses. But at the same time, not yet generating stable income that's over 5 figures or over 6 figures month over month. The strategies there, the structures there, the systems there, and the foundations are there. But I feel like the momentum's getting there, and it's getting easier and easier and easier, but it's not there yet. So I'm not discounting all the results. I'm not discounting all the blessings, but I'm letting you know full transparency, okay? So I did a reel the other day, and I feel like this a lot as an entrepreneur, and I know many of you do. It's like, it's the hard knock life, right? It's the hard knock life. Hard knock life. And so I want to be fully, a lot of things have happened sooner than I thought. I didn't think I would travel the world until the business would be at a certain point, until all the debt would be paid off. That's not the reality. What's interesting, you guys, is my expenses are over half of what they were in Atlanta, Georgia, okay? So shift your mind to what's possible and out of the box thinking, because there is no box. There is no box, okay? I want you to think about that. And so the other thing that happened last month also, I did a guide for Hidden Lemure with Monteverde. So that was something that got published that I'm super grateful for, okay? So with that, we've covered the 7 steps. We've covered the Create 7. We've covered the community creator and creative focus and pruning stuff as I'm walking into a Shemitah or sabbatical type year with more focus on content, okay? That flows into everything else. And then the last part that I wanted to recap that I touched on at the beginning is the adventures in September, okay? So walking through Costa Rica, through El Salvador, through Honduras, okay? So September 1st through the 11th, Costa Rica, canyoning, the reserve next door, El Salvador, the 11th through the 16th, with El Tunco Beach, with San Salvador and the walk, and with the Rainbow Slide and the 2 incredible Airbnbs. And then the 16th through the 1st with Ocotepeque, with the park, with Cayahuanca Rock, with the reserve. And you guys, I can show you better than I can tell you. So here's a sneak peek at all my adventures in September. And as always, friends, let's create it. And remember, create, transform, and inspire, because you are born to.